Hi, how you doing? This is the Gamertron and welcome back to the Gamertron Show. Hello Overwatch community, I'm the Gamertron. You may have heard of me from these videos. You didn't like them very much. So I am so curious to see what happens with this video. You see, for this video's topic of discussion, I will be solely focusing on the video game Overwatch and its community by posting this question. Why is the Overwatch community full of pussies? Never in my entire lifetime as a gamer have I seen a multiplayer video game with a community so prone to spineless whimpering, epic indulgences of triggering, and really just crying over the most petty non-problems. Gamertron, how dare you? How dare you attack the Overwatch community? How dare you insult them? Well, because being obvious seems to be a necessity nowadays, I am not talking about the entirety of the Overwatch community. I'm not generalizing the entire Overwatch community. I know that the vast majority of Overwatch players just play and enjoy the game and don't indulge in the crazy nonsense that goes on in the more radical portions of the Overwatch community. I am specifically referring to the more radical, nutty, downright fanatic portion of the Overwatch community, because I've seen some gaming communities come close to it. Call of Duty and Warframe, for examples. Those communities got some nutcases, but Overwatch, to me at least, from everything I've seen, takes the fucking cake. But now, of course, what am I talking about? What specific events, what examples provided have led me to the conclusion that the Overwatch community is full of pussies? Oh dear. Where do we begin? Well, first off, what I consider to be one of the funniest and most batshit insane pussification personified from the Overwatch community is how they get upset over the most petty, insignificant non-problems. The most recent example with Overwatch's Year of the Rooster event, they released a new outfit, a new costume, new legendary skin for Mei. And the Overwatch community freaked out because that skin, that legendary skin for Mei, made her look not fat. I'm not kidding you, this was an actual thing. The Overwatch community freaked out because Mei got a new legendary skin that made her look normal sized. Overwatch players were upset and angry that Mei was not plus size. Let me say that one more time. Gamers who play Overwatch got angry and upset because a certain character in a video game, through a optional cosmetic, were upset that her body weight was not what they desired. Not only is that remarkably petty, it's also kind of creepy. Never in the entirety of my gaming career, as it were, have I ever heard or seen something more ridiculous. People getting upset over a character's weight. Oof. My god. However, before the whole Mei's weight incident, there was the controversial non-controversy that Tracer, the main poster girl for Overwatch, was gay. And for some reason, people lost their minds over this. Why? Tracer is not the first gay character in a video game, she won't be the last, and why would you make a big deal over a fictional character's sexuality? I mean, again with the Mei thing, that's incredibly petty and really creepy. Those are only more recent examples of how the Overwatch community seems to obsess and make controversy over the most petty, insignificant things. So what if a character isn't overweight or not? So what if a character is gay or not? These are completely normal, natural things not to be freaked out over. It's so weird. It's so weird and petty and creepy and ugh. Moving on from that, the Overwatch community also has a habit of getting incredibly triggered whenever Blizzard makes the slightest nerf or buff to any characters. There was a huge outcry and outburst over Blizzard slightly changing how the character Roadhog's hook ability worked. The Overwatch community was in such an uproar that even all the big games media journalists covered it. People were losing their minds. Blizzard's messing with Roadhog's hook? Triggered! I mean, my god, man. At some times, it seems like the Overwatch community, a vast portion of the Overwatch community, has never played a multiplayer game before. Now, there are always those fringe individuals in any gaming community that freak out over any update or change to a game, but with the Overwatch community, anytime there's a buff or a nerf or a stat change, they lose their fucking minds. Overwatch is not the first multiplayer video game to do this. It won't be the last. It's a natural course for a multiplayer game to constantly balance and shift in order to make sure everyone's playing on a fair playing ground and to remove anything that may be exploitable. This is an understandable, natural thing for multiplayer video games, and yet every time Overwatch buffs or nerfs something, Overwatch community goes bananas. It's why I feel so sorry for YouTube channels like Force Gaming, where he's been kind of backed up into a corner trying to appeal and provide videos for this fanatical side of the Overwatch community, having to make videos on what are really non-issues. 5 to 10 minute videos on anything and everything having to do with Overwatch. It's sad, really. Now, I am of the belief that every video game is someone's first video game. So I'm sure for some people, Overwatch is their first-person shooter, their first online multiplayer game. I'm sure for some people, Overwatch is a first for them. But the level of outrage over every buff, nerf, and update to Overwatch is mind-blowing. And finally, we come to the last marker of pussification personified within the Overwatch community, as there is a decent amount of hardcore Overwatch players that go into a frothing rage over if you play the hero they don't want you to play as. Now, I'm sure there are going to be some Overwatch fans and players that disagree with me on the first 2 points I brought up in the video, but this, without a shadow of a doubt, I'm sure everyone who's played Overwatch can agree on. These players, these incredibly angry, hostile players that lose their shit if you play as a hero they don't like or that they don't want you to play, messes with their team composition that they have constructed in their head. Even though it's been proven time and time again, no matter what hero you play as, if you play well with that hero and perform your role well with that hero, then your team's gonna win. You're gonna do the best that you can. Yet there are these some players that just lose their minds. God forbid you play Widowmaker or Bastion, Hanzo or Sombra. You dare play as those heroes? I'm going to insult you, berate you, lose the game on purpose, or outright quit. Now, I could understand if you had a certain player in your team who was refusing to go healer and no one else was playing healer. When building a team in Overwatch, there are just some characters that you need. You need a healer, you need a tank, so it's understandable that some player in your team bite the bullet to play those roles so that you can actually put up a fight against the enemy team. But getting angry and upset and acting insufferable to everyone because someone wants to play that specific character because that's a character they like or that's a character that they're really good at, like, get the fuck out of here. I'm sure this happens in other multiplayer games like League of Legends or Dota. I'm sure this happens there. I've just never seen or heard it. Overwatch is the only video game where I've actually experienced batshit insane players lose it over what hero you choose to play. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I feel sorry for the Overwatch community that you have to deal with these lunatics. These people who lose their minds over petty things like Mei's weight and Tracer's sexuality, every buff and nerf coming to the game, and God forbid what hero you want to play as. And from my personal experience, this is the only video game, Overwatch is the only video game where I've witnessed this sort of madness, this spineless, cowardly wimpiness. I'm not saying this doesn't happen in other multiplayer communities. It happens in Call of Duty, Warframe, League of Legends, those games all the time. But the outrage and the scope and the magnitude of outrage and craziness that sparks from the Overwatch community, I can't compare to any other. Overwatch is the only game where I see these petty pussy problems make their way into games media news. So this all circles back to my very first question. Why is the Overwatch community full of pussies? I would love to know the answer. Please let me know in the comment section down below. Why does Overwatch attract this craziness? What is it about Overwatch, this particular video game, that triggers people so? Let me know your thoughts, feelings, opinions in the comment section down below. I love reading comments. I get nearly enough comments. Please leave a comment. If you like this video in any way, shape, or form, please be sure to hit the like button. Hitting the like button helps you, helps me, helps everybody involved with the video if you hit the like button. If you want to help out and support this video, then please share it on social media, Twitter and Facebook. And if you want to help out and support me directly, there is always Patreon. Anyways, that has been a video, and I will see you all later.